We're back. So, we're going to talk about why you're failing at life. Yes, you. You are failing. Yes, I already know. And the reason I know is because I have been exactly where you are, right? Not too long ago, to be honest with you, I felt like I was failing at life. Man, let me tell you, it was honestly 2023. I felt like every time I looked around, I was taking an L. And I talked about this in the previous video, how to change your life in a year. And I said, 2023 was a year of like devastating L's for me, from losing one of my best friends to this Airbnb situation. Some of you asked me to talk about that more, and I will in a future video. But, you know, I gotta tell y'all, that was like devastating for me, because I invested a lot of money, not only in this program that I joined, but also in the setup of the Airbnb, managing it, maintaining it. And then my dumb ass, okay, and y'all know I don't even usually curse. I got a second Airbnb right after I got the first one. That had the potential to turn into a complete and utter nightmare, okay? A nightmare from which I don't know that I would have ever recovered. I mean, I'm pretty sure I would because, that bounce back game got to be tough. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I got to tell y'all, I failed. This was something I definitely feel like I took a huge, ginormous L on. And the great thing about that, though, is that I didn't let it stop me. For me, I feel like when you take an L, you are on your way to leveling up, right? Because oftentimes in business, a lot of business owners on their path to success, they actually take quite a few L's because along this journey, you got to figure out what it is that's going to work for you and what doesn't work for you, right? And some people happen to hit a lick real quick. Like for me, when I started on YouTube, I think I'd had my YouTube channel since about 2000, maybe seven or so, but I didn't really do anything with it until 2019. At that point, I made a couple of videos and then I had a video on my news channel that went viral, right? And so I just never stopped after that. But I think that that's one of those instances where it didn't really take me very long to get the win. But honestly, I got to tell y'all, once I saw that I could get a win on YouTube, I doubled down on that. Okay. I did not quit. I didn't stop. I didn't turn back. It was full steam ahead. It was all gas and no brakes. And ever since then, I have become incredibly disciplined on my news channel with regards to putting out content, right? And so that is really at the core of our discussion for today. For me, one of the things that I generally believe, okay, generally, I believe that most people are failing in life because they lack discipline. Here's a quote that I just saw. I felt like this quote really just kind of, I think it was I think it really hit the nail on the head, to be honest with you, for me, because it reads, there are 99 other success principles that I have found in my reading and experience, but without self-discipline, none of them work. Okay. With self-discipline, they all work. And that quote is from Brian Tracy. And we have another quote coming from Brian Tracy, in this video. But I wanted to start here. There are 999 other success principles that I have found in my reading and experience. I can't even tell you how many self help books I have read. I can't tell you how many motivational videos I have watched. I cannot tell you how many times I've sat and listened to a mentor speak. But I have got to tell you guys the truth. None of that stuff will matter if you do not have self discipline. None of it. The execution is faulty if you are not disciplined enough to do it either daily or however frequently it's going to take in order for you to get to the win. Okay. So, whatever it is that you're doing in life, I guarantee if you look back on it, the reason why most 9 times out of 10, you might have failed at it was because you were not disciplined. And that leads me back to my Airbnb situation. when you are investing your time and energy into something, my firm belief at this point in time is you have got to carve out a time to be disciplined with how you spend your time in that business. Like a lot of people will say you have to go all in. I didn't have time to go all in on the Airbnb business. I really didn't. And as a result, I had to rely on other people. I honestly believe now, if I look back on it, that if I had done it and I had really put my everything into it, I would have probably made that thing a success. But at the end of the day, my focus had to be elsewhere because I don't believe that you can be disciplined in all things, right? I believe that you can be disciplined in a certain sect of things. So you have to determine where your time is going to go because we only got 24 hours out of a day. So you need to be judicious with the things that you are choosing to be disciplined about, right? So that's the caveat here that I do want to sort of explore just a little bit. Like, you can't say, I want to do all 12 of these things and then think that you're going to be disciplined in all 12 of them. Like, that's a mistake that I have made plenty of times before because I'm a creative. There are oftentimes days where I get inspiration for all these ideas, and it's kind of crazy when you really think about it because it's like I can't accomplish all of these things. So you have to be a really planful with how you are thinking about what it is that you want to accomplish this year and what goals are going to be first, second, third. Just give them a priority is what I'm saying. And once you prioritize them, I think you'll have a lot better you'll have a better vantage point of figuring out, okay, I need to be disciplined on this task for the next 2 weeks. Once that's done, I can then focus on the next task. And I think that is the way that discipline works best, is when you can focus on what it is that you really want to be disciplined about. All right. What work are you going to be disciplined with today or this week or this month or this quarter? And then you execute, right? But with self-discipline, we look at the end of this quote and it says they all work. Everything that you learn and everything that we'll talk about on this channel, I guarantee you at the heart of it, if you hammer it out day after day, you are going to find that you are going to get further because you have been disciplined, right? So let's continue on. All right. What is the definition of the word discipline? Because we've talked around it quite a bit. You know, when we look at one of the definitions, it means to train or develop by instruction and exercise, especially in self-control. Okay. So to train or develop by instruction and exercise. All right. So let's look at that, right? So for me, even if I'm by being on this channel, I'm saying to myself, I'm being disciplined. I'm showing up daily, right? I am going to show up daily to drop gems of wisdom, things that I have learned to help people become their best selves. And in doing so, I plan to become my best self as well, right? So I am getting the training hands on because I am doing the work daily, right? So I'm training and I'm developing because each time I do this, I'm going to get better. I don't care about being perfect on this channel. I don't care about that. What I care about is that somebody left here today a better version of themselves than when they came here. Okay. You watched the video, you learned something, you took it and you applied it, and you became better as a result. That is what I care about. All right. So to train, which is what I'm doing because I'm going to get better, I'm going to develop these skills every day. I'm instructing, okay, this is my platform for which I am training and developing myself in instruction, and I'm exercising this muscle. Like, I'm learning how to build this muscle to do this on a day-to-day basis because it's important to me. And then it says, take it further, because we can break these things down, right? Especially in self-control. The self-control is I do this despite how I'm feeling, okay? I'm doing this despite the fact that I need to take a nap, okay? I'm doing this despite the fact that I worked out, I had meetings, I did other videos for other channels, but I'm still showing up because that is my commitment to myself. And I find that most people fail because they really don't keep the commitments that they've made to themselves. That goes back to changing your life within a year. How are you going to change your life if you can't even show up for yourself? Period. All right. So I love this quote right here. I love this quote. We do not have to be smarter than the rest. We have to be more disciplined than the rest. And that's by Warren Buffett. All right. So my thought is currently you have a confidence problem, right? I think that most people have imposter syndrome. I suffer from it. Raise your hand if you suffer from imposter syndrome. Because Lord knows how many times I've gotten an idea that has been percolating in my head about something that I feel that I can do. But when it comes down to executing, for some reason, my confidence begins to waver. The level of excitement I had about said thing begins to waver because I believe that I'm not that person yet, right? I believe that I'm not good enough. I haven't reached this point yet. And then you look around and you see other people who are doing that very same thing who honestly are way less qualified than you. So here you are second guessing your gifts, okay? Because you are too afraid of looking stupid in front of a bunch of people who 9 times out of 10 will be impressed at just the fact that you showed up, okay? So I need you to get out of your head because it's really a problem that you have with your own level of confidence. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in, again, like I said, your God given gifts that you can accomplish or be what you see in your mind. And so for me, I feel like it's stopping you from executing all of these creative ideas that you've been blessed with. Every little thing that you have wanted to accomplish, all of these things, you can't do them because you're too afraid that you're not that you don't look like what this person looks like who's doing it, or that person who looks like that's doing it. You and I are no different. To be honest with you, we may have different life experiences, but you can call those life experiences, you can bring them all together, and you can literally do this very same thing. Okay? There's no difference. We've, again, just had different experiences, but I haven't had your experiences and you haven't had mine. So I can potentially learn from your experiences just like you can learn from mine. I firmly believe that you are your greatest enemy. It is a war in your mind that you must conquer, and you must conquer it daily. Okay? Here's what I mean by that. When I first started on my news YouTube channel, I was talking about reality TV, entertainment news, and that sort of thing. And I felt like in order to get people to listen to me, that I needed to justify the fact of, oh, I used to work in news, or I've been doing this since, 2016 with AfterBuzz TV. And I had all of these other credentials. I've gone to school for journalism and I've been on Bravo, all of those things. And really, none of those things are the reason why I feel like people would come back to that channel on a day-to-day basis. They came back because they generally liked me and maybe the way that I delivered the news and information that I was delivering, right? So oftentimes, again, it is us who feel like we aren't ready to do the thing that we're being called to do. And so my response to that to you is that even though you feel like you're not ready, you need to do it so that you can get better and then you can feel ready. You will never feel ready until you actually begin to do it, right? And now when I do what I do, it comes naturally. I don't second guess it. I sit down, the red light comes on for the camera, and boom, we're off to the races. So the thing that I want to leave you with for that is to trust your instincts. Believe in the vision that you have for yourself. Plan each day for what it is that you want to accomplish, and then execute the plan and do it daily. It's really a you versus you type situation. You're not comparing yourself to anybody else. We don't really do that. We may use other people, as I stated in a previous video, as models for what it is that we want to do so that we can see it, because I feel like if we can see it, then we know we can be it, right? So if we can see that somebody else is accomplishing it, then we can use them as a model for success and inspiration, and then we go and do it ourselves and we put our own sauce on it. And that is how you begin to compete with you versus you, because the only thing that you're competing with is yourself from yesterday to today. And that's it. Everything else, it doesn't matter. What anybody else is doing, it doesn't really matter unless you're looking for them as your model for trends and analysis and that sort of thing, analytical type situations. Like we're studying metrics. We want to see what's working. So we may again look at another person as a model, but beyond that, I mean, it's just they're doing their thing and we're doing ours. We don't compete. Okay. Like that's one thing that I firmly believe in. There is no such thing for me as competition with anyone else. I'm all about collaboration. All right. It's all about collaboration. I'm not really worried too much about what the next person is doing. I don't do that. Nor do I critique or think about how they're doing it, why they're doing it, what way they're doing it, if it's working for them. I don't think about that. I think about what is working for me and how am I going to do what I'm going to do. I love this quote right here. It says, "You can make excuses or you can make progress. You choose," right? I look at this situation as a start now or regret it later. I told you guys before that I had started making videos on this channel and I took a year off because I just didn't know what to say. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't have the confidence to feel like I was ready to explore this side of myself because I didn't believe in it, right? And so as a result, I wasted a year. I could have grown exponentially on this channel by now, but I didn't because I kept putting it off, right? So I was somewhat making excuses for myself, but that's difficult not to do when you are in the weeds, when you're in the forest, when you're in the trenches. You're just honestly trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? But that is also why I wanted to make this channel what it is currently, because my firm belief is that we can be a blessing to someone else. Like my story is a testimony for someone else to see it and hopefully not succumb to what I succumbed to when I was going through the muck and the mire, right? So I have so many regrets about, dang, I could have been using my story at that time to show people how do you get through depression. But I was just so in my head, I was just so lost that I did not think that I could do it. And again, this channel is very unique in the sense that I'm pulling from my own personal experiences and I am developing these slides for you on a personal level with my own personal research, using my own personal stories and what I feel like is important to pull out. So it's kind of like I'm creating a lesson plan for you guys because I want to ensure that when you leave this video, you leave with some meat and potatoes. You leave with something that is worthwhile. And that also means when you don't act on the things that you're called to do, you end up watching the world pass you by. Everybody else is making strides. I've seen so many other channels, blow up over the past year, because they've just done the work. They were disciplined. They had a plan. They executed and they did it daily. They did it weekly. They did it bi-weekly. They did it bi-monthly. However often it was that worked for them. You will know what that is. The goal is there in your mind. It really is. And generally speaking, you know what to do. You're just not doing it, which also results in missed opportunities. You know, how many opportunities did I miss by not exploring this aspect of myself? I certainly missed the opportunity to uplift somebody else. I certainly missed the opportunity to help somebody else who was going through it because I was so busy wasting away in my own mind that I couldn't help someone else, right? Every time I did not do a video, I missed an opportunity to help another person. That's how I look at this now. So that is why the mission is different today than it was last year. And I don't want to regret this. I don't want to regret not having done this and not having explored this and not seeing where it could take me. And that's the place where you just don't want to be. You don't want to be in that space where you're looking back at your life because it is short and saying, I wish I had done this or I wish I had done that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that also we need to start learning how to resist the allure of comfort. So today, let me give you an example. I was sitting here and I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to take a nap, right? So I took a nap and I had a meeting at like 4 p.m. It's now what, 5:57, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to take this nap, and I knew I had to get up for the meeting. And so I said, okay, I could technically, just go back and, go to the grocery store and just kind of relax for the rest of the evening. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not doing that. I sat down, I took, 45 minutes to sit and think and process about what I wanted to talk about, make my notes, make my slides, do some research on discipline, find some quotes that I felt like really resonated with me. Um, and then I pulled it all together and I said, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do this today because it's important to me. I think a lot of times we get in this space of, oh, it's cold outside because it's winter right now, right? It's cold outside. I don't want to go to the gym. I just want to relax. And no, 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 no. Because while you are doing that, a very someone who you would look at and think is not as ambitious as you is out there just putting in the work daily, and they're getting ahead because all they're doing is they're planning and executing. And it is going to take a little bit of discomfort to get to that space where you are finally doing it in a way that feels natural. But until you do it, you'll never feel comfortable. It just won't happen, right? So for me, it's about facing the discomfort of it being cold outside, of not feeling as confident as you may normally feel, or getting out of the bed earlier, going to bed earlier, whatever it takes to make sure that you are setting yourself up for success. Sometimes that's going to require you to get out of your comfort zone, and then removing distractions, man. Like, let me tell y'all something. This phone, baby, this phone will mess you up. Okay. Instagram is my it's literally my sometimes my downfall. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I'm not gonna hold y'all on that one. It's my downfall sometimes because for me, part of my job with, news, entertainment, and stuff like that, I have to stay on top of what's going on social media. Outside of that, if it were not for that, I could tell you guys the truth now. I wouldn't even be on social media like that because I really find that it is a rabbit hole of and a cesspool of distractions. And to be honest with you, I noticed today a very distinct change in my workout because I didn't pick up my phone. I put my phone down on my bag and I just worked out, and I kind of watched other people as I was, because I had more time and I wasn't really engaged in my phone like that. And I was like, wow, like a lot of people were on a lot of these machines. As I was moving through the machines, I would notice people on the same machine for like 15, 20 minutes. And the reason why is because they were on their phones. And I'm like, dang, I was that person at one point in time. Like that is usually me. So I just said to myself, I am going to resist the urge to open up my phone, to check my emails, to be on the text messages, to go down the deep, dark, dank rabbit hole of Instagram and social media. And I'm just going to work out. I'm going to do what I came here to do. And then I will check my phone afterwards. I haven't made it to the point where I'm able to just, delete social media altogether. That is my goal. That is what I'm working towards. But what I can do is set periods of time aside for, the important activities that I need to accomplish. And social media will just have to wait. And that's just got to be the way that it's going to be at this point. So it is what it is. Discipline and freedom are not mutually exclusive, but mutually dependent, because without discipline, we would sink into chaos. Now, this is by Paulo Coelho. So I want to kind of leave you guys with this understanding that entrepreneurship requires discipline. I, as an entrepreneur, have to get up every day and I have to work. Again, my job relies heavily on social media. So for me right now, it means getting up every day and looking to see what news is out there, right? Because for what I know is that because my job is based on the content that I create, if I don't create content, then I don't make any money, which means that I don't eat. And I like to eat. I like to eat. I like to travel. I like to pay my bills. And when I travel, I like to travel comfortably. Okay. I am talking about business class. Call me bougie if you want to, but the reason I like to, again, I think I might have said it before, but I like to travel, business class, because I don't want my feet and my nose and my knees up to my nose. I don't want that. I want to travel in comfort. When I feel like when I'm on vacation, the vacation starts at the airport. And so when I sit down on the plane in my seat, I want to be served with a glass of champagne or Jack and Coke or whatever it is. And I want to just relax into the flight, right? So for me, because I know that I like these things, I need to work. I need to put in the work in order to be able to live the life that I want to live. Now, at various stages, that may mean that I'm not necessarily working per se, but I'm still generating income, if that makes any sense, right? And so for me, what I do is I look at people, because success, it requires discipline, right? So you look at somebody like a Beyonce. Beyonce is still getting vocal lessons. Beyonce is still, it took her 4 years to create the stage for the Renaissance tour. And so if you think about that in that way, like that's 4 years of planning before she ever executed a thing. She was planning even while there was a pandemic. That didn't stop her. Like you can't, what I'm learning is you can't be affected by what's happening in the world. Your goals cannot be affected by that. And that may be controversial to say, because there's obviously things like inflation and economics that kind of go into the business world, but you still got to execute. You still got to do the things. You look at Usher, you look at Janet Jackson, any of your favorite athletes or entertainers, they've gotten to where they've gotten because usually they are disciplined enough to put in the work to get to the place where they can be successful, where they can execute flawlessly, right? I think that most people aren't successful because when you look at your friends and you look at your family, you look at your relatives, I think we can usually all agree that many of them are mindlessly meandering because they have zero discipline. And my thought is, at this point in time, I am surrounding myself only with people who are disciplined. I have a friend right now who is studying for the bar. And when I tell you this woman has so much discipline, she is studying for literally like 7 to 8 hours a day, a wall filled with like post-it notes of things that she needs to learn. And I look at that and I think like, wow, like the discipline that she has to make sure that this is something that she's being paid for, right? Like in terms of it's something that she has to do in order to get to the next place where she can be paid, well for her time, right? So my thought is I want to continue to surround myself with individuals like that. And my ultimate goal and my ultimate hope is that by watching this video, you will begin to find those people for yourself as well. And maybe I will be blessed enough for you to count me as one of those people, right? And I say me being blessed because it's a blessing to be a blessing to someone else. So if you are failing in life, I want you to ask yourself this question. Are you failing because you've got too many things going on? Are you failing because you're not disciplined enough? I guarantee you, like 9 times out of 10, if you're not where you want to be, it's because you're not putting in the work. You're not putting in, you don't have the discipline that it takes to get to that space. That's the only thing that's missing. That's it. That's it. So with that being said, guys, I will hit you all in the next video. Of course, we're going to drop some more gems. Let me know what you guys think. If you have questions, comments, or other topics that you want me to hit, I will definitely do so. And with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as well, because I mean, we're going to do different types of videos. This is just one type that I'm exploring right now. I feel like it works really, really well for me. I love the idea of being able to really collect my thoughts and really kind of go through things as I think of them, and sort of explore topics. So anyway, I will catch you all in the next video.